Hello everyone, it is Artistic Sunrise here, coming back at you with another video. So today, it is not an art video. I'm super sorry, but it is actually another book video. I know I said that the rest of my book videos would be filmed in front of the new bookshelf, but we're gonna deal with this today because I hurt my leg earlier this week and I'm not sitting on the ground with it. So let's hop right into this week's video. As you can tell, I've got a stack of books here, and these are books that I would sell my soul for to read for the first time. Now, I got this video idea from a bunch of TikToks that I have actually seen on YouTube. I don't have TikTok, so I watch them on YouTube, and yeah. So I've seen this one a couple of times, and I wanted to make a YouTube video out of it. So I've got a bunch of books here. Most of them I have read this year, but there are some of them that, like this one right here, I read back in 4th grade, and I would sell my soul to read these books again. So, let's just start off with this one right here. This one, I read this book in 4th grade. This is really the thing that got me liking reading. Does that make sense? This is the thing that got me to like reading, but I didn't really get into reading until 7th grade, which we will come back to that book later. But this book is The BFG by Roald Dahl, and I just have such a nihilistic vibe coming out of this book because I just remember reading this book, and this was the first book that I actually fangirled over, and so I was just like, I was in love with this book. I was in love with the characters. I needed this book in my life, and my 4th grade teacher knew how much I liked this book and the author. So she gave me a copy of this and then another 2 books by this author, which I have read both of them, but this book takes the prize every time. And I really need to reread this book, but I wish I could just read it for the first time again in my 4th grade mind. Just going through the events of this book and laughing with it the exact same way that I did back then. So the next book is from 6th grade. As you can tell, we are going kind of in order, not really, but this is, no, I read this in 7th grade, sorry. This is The Siren by Kiera Cass. Now, this is one of her first books, but I read this in 7th grade, and I absolutely loved it. I think I like this book. This is just a standalone book by Kiera Cass. If you don't know who Kiera Cass is, then she writes a lot of, she likes to write more of royalty books. Like, she wrote the Selection series, and then her new book just came out this June. This June. And it was The Betrothed. All of those books kind of have like a royalty sense to them, but this book does not, and this has to be my favorite book by her just because it was such a new thing to me, and this book just gave me such good feelings while reading it, and it made me so happy just to read. I would definitely sell my soul to read this again. So the next book is the book that actually got me into reading BookTube basically, it shaped me into the person I am today, and I would include this whole series in this to read for the first time again, because this is the Darkest Minds series by Alexander Bracken, my favorite series. I wish I could read this for the first time again. That was a mouthful. So I first wanted to read this series in 6th grade, but my mom thought I was too young. She recommended it to me, and so she got me the first book in 7th grade, and I read it. I was a very slow reader. I still am a very slow reader, but not as slow as I was at the beginning of 7th grade. And this book just brought joy to me, and it really got me into reading. And then about a week after I finished this book, I found out about BookTube, and I just got into the book-loving universe. And so this book just has a lot of emotions connecting me to it. And, yeah, so I just couldn't ask for a better book to reread and to get me into reading. I really wish that I could read this for the first time again. Just the whole series. I'm still working on the last book. I've been working on it. I'm working on it. And then I put it down. And then I started over. Then I work on it again. Then I started over again. I just don't want to leave this universe. I don't want the story to end. And yeah. But if you have not picked up this series, I would really recommend it to you if you're a fan of... I want to say kind of like dystopian-y books. If you like supernatural books, then you would really enjoy The Darkest Minds. One book that I can compare this to is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Even though they have the totally way out of range different story details, it's still kind of about kids with powers and just, I don't know. It's hard to describe it, but if you have not read this, I would really recommend it. And this book just has a lot of emotions connecting me to it. And yeah, I would definitely sell my soul to read this again. So the next book, we'll go with this one. Alright, getting out of the creepy sense there. So this next book is Out of My Mind by Sharon M. Draper. And this book just, it connects me to being who I am. Basically, I connected with the main characters so much in this book. I cannot even describe how much I love this book. And I'm pretty sure this is like a middle grade level book, but it felt so much like something like an adult would read and learn a lesson from it. And I just learned a lot from this book, and I really wish I could reread it again. I really wish that I could read it for the first time again, and I just think that it would be so much fun to read this for the first time again. So, the next book. My hair is a total disaster. Yep, you're seeing my hair in a mess. So the next book, I'm gonna go with this. One Paris Summer by Denise Grover Swank. Now, I cannot have a video without this book in it. I can, but I can't at the same time. I love this book. This is my favorite contemporary book, and I will love it till the day I die. I just think that it has a lot of twists and turns in it, and it's not all about just one romance. It's about the main character dealing with her parents split up, with her dad actually meeting someone new and getting to know her new stepsister in this whole new environment. And it just has a lot to it, and I wish I could just reread this for the first time again. I would sell more than my soul. That is a fact. I would sell more than my soul to read this again for the first time. Alright, so we're down to the last 2 books. So this next book is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I don't really have much to say about this, to be honest with you. I loved this book. I love it. I would sell my soul to read it for the first time again. That's basically all I have to say. That's all I can say. If you have not read The Hunger Games and you like dystopian, please read The Hunger Games. And now the time has come for our last book. So, this last book, it's probably the one that I would sell my soul for, with the most giving. I would probably sell my whole book collection to read this for the first time again. And that's saying a lot. And this book just has a lot of emotions connecting me to it. I don't know how someone can read this and not want to reread it for the first time again. This is my favorite book by Rick Riordan. So, this is The House of Hades by Rick Riordan. If you do not know, this is the 4th book in the Heroes of Olympus. I'm pretty sure it's the longest book Rick Riordan has ever written. It's like 650 pages. But it's just, if you don't know who Persebeth is, then you need to check out the Rick Riordan universe. But it connected me. And then Bob. I don't want to spoil anything. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, I'm going to put my hand up. When I take my hand down, like this, you can unmute the video, but as I have my hand up, it's going to be spoilers for this book and the rest of the series, okay? Alright, so this book, just the sense that Bob, it just left them, Bob basically sacrificed himself for Percy and Annabeth, and the fact that he tells them to tell the stars, to say to the stars hello, and it just brings back so much emotion in me. I just can't believe that I don't know. It's so beautifully written, and the fact that Hazel gets her powers in this too, the power to make illusions, and finds out that she can do this, and then them reforming the labyrinth, that had to be my favorite scene, where they say goodbye to Bob and Hazel reformed the labyrinth. And the sense that Percy and Annabeth were just there, were working each other through Tartarus the entire time. I loved it. Number 1, I loved it. 2, Percy was being his sassy self. You have Percy sass in there. And 3, I love Bob with all my heart. I will always love Bob. And I don't know. It's my favorite book. And that was the spoilers. So we're done with the spoilers. But I love this book, and I will always love this book. This will stay in my heart forever. And yeah, that was my video. So these are the books that I would sell my soul to reread for the first time again. And honestly, this is not a bad pick. I would love to read these for the first time again. And it would probably be another emotional roller coaster because, you know, that's how books make me feel. They make me I'm an emotional roller coaster when I read. But, you know, I just feel like I wouldn't regret it. Yeah. So, if you like this video, I would love to do a part 2 to this video if you want me to. And yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!